The personal breakthrough for me is when I attended an animation conference, and an animator from Disney just took an hour going over basic concepts of design, things that I had never learned as an engineer. It was a revelation to me. Now, in my case, I have found that a lot of art books give me a good grounding in design. The examples may be a bit different. They may be like barns in a field as opposed to cool motion graphics to announce a new season of a particular show, but the basic concepts of how you design a frame are remarkably similar between the two different fields. My current favorite book is called The Simple Secret to Better Painting: How to Immediately Improve Your Art. Even if you just read the first 20 or so pages of this book, your mind will immediately be opened up. He has a number of examples that get you thinking about what is a more interesting design to look at. For example, in this case, he feels that things that are a little bit out of alignment with each other, which don't have a predictable rhythm to them, are more interesting to look at. The viewer is more likely to be engaged by something where something's partially out of frame, or something's coming into frame, where there's some mystery and some tension, compared to something simple where the main object is just centered in the screen with nothing interesting around them. He has a lot of suggestions about how to divide up your frame, even mentioning what designs are relatively boring or more interesting, including a number of boring, better, and best arrangements or ways of dividing up your frame. Some interesting concepts on visual weight. What makes us more likely to look at one object or piece of type or whatever compared to another? What makes it seem more important on screen? And he goes further and even talks about what sorts of designs create visual tension. His theory is that creating a bit of tension engages the viewer more. If something's too boring and too predictable, you're going to lose their attention pretty quickly. Now, there is a spectrum from very boring and predictable to, as he calls it, disturbingly chaotic, which may be appropriate for some clients, some edgier designs, things like that. But he gets you thinking about what is perhaps too safe of a design, what is a more interesting design, and what may be pushing it over the edge. Now, in general, his so-called secret is never make two intervals the same. And by interval, he means the size of an object, the shape of an object, its color, or any other properties. In other words, avoid sameness and symmetry. It's very easy for us to fall into the rut of putting everything in the middle of the screen, making every object the same size. Everything seems nice and equal and symmetrical and mathematical, but it's just not that interesting to look at as a result. You can create more interest and more tension by varying size, shape, color, and other intervals or other qualities or properties of your objects on screen. Let's switch into Adobe After Effects and I'll give you a few quick, very simple examples of some of these concepts. I'm going to start with the concept of creating balance in the frame, and in particular, something known as asymmetrical balance.